Good morning everyone. Welcome to Byjus Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the Hindu analysis of 20th February 2024. Let us look without wasting any time how many articles are we covering today. So for mains related there are almost 8 topics that we are covering today. So you can see the first topic being why are the human wildlife conflicts escalating in Kerala? And from the same state, Kerala, there is another news. Elephant tracking in Idukki forests gets easier as new AI camera beams live images on social media. This is more regarding but because it is related to the same state, almost same news, so I have kept them together. But then you will see the essence is slightly different. The third one, use dictionary meaning of forest. Supreme Court tells the center. We'll look into a landmark judgment of 90s into this. The fourth one, Israel to fight during Ramzan unless Hamas frees hostages. Palestinians accuse Israel of apartheid at the ICJ. So again, 2 topics about whom we have been discussing a lot of times in the past few days. So Israel-Palestine would be our 4th, 5th topic. 6th one, SC flags horse trading after Chandigarh polls. Yesterday also I discussed and again it is coming today. 7th, Center has agreed to discuss statehood, says Ladakh leaders. So we shall see, will Ladakh, which is a union territory, get statehood? This is a demand right now, and why are they demanding such things? We shall look into all of them. Finally, the 8th is Center Kerala talks fail, SC to hear suit. Supreme Court will be listening to the matter. Again, an old topic we have discussed many times in the last few days. So these are 8 topics for the mains and 5 topics for prelims. EU launches Red Sea mission as US ship is attacked twice. So we'll see the name of the mission, what mission or what is the name of the mission that they have given. Prohibition on the Nilgiris. I'll show you how from Hindu, any article written any time, how we can deduce or bring out certain points for us as far as prelims is concerned. 100 years ago, Satyendra Nath Bose changed physics forever. Now let me tell you, this is a topic of science, but I'll bring, of course, it's a history thing. So I'll bring the history. Of course, education chapter of history will also come into play here. The 12th topic, Saturn's moon Mimas may have ocean under its crust. And the last one, breakthrough prize, laureate calls for collecting precious protein structures. So these we'll be doing very, very quickly, though this might take some time because it's a very, very lengthy article that has come in today's newspaper. So starting with the first one. You can see today in the page 11, why are human wildlife conflicts escalating in Kerala? So there must be some reason that you have to understand that so many human as well as the animals conflict are happening in Kerala. So you all might be knowing a lot of protests are going on in Wayanad. Now Wayanad, very scenic place, plus in news because it's the constituency of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and day before yesterday also he had travelled over there. And there is a lot of news here because every, after some days we are hearing that some people get impacted or they have even been killed in Kerala because of the man-animal conflict. So the first question that we should raise here is, if these conflicts are happening, why are they escalating in Kerala? The first question that we should ask ourselves is, why Kerala? Why not some other state? So please see, I have got the answer to this. According to this editorial, the reason why Kerala is having so many of man-animal conflicts is because if you look at the area of Kerala, it is almost 30% of Kerala's area is occupied by forests. So Kerala's 30% geographical area is covered by the forests. Now if you look at Kerala with the perspective of India, Kerala is comparatively a smaller state. And for such a relatively small state, which has an average width of just around 70 kilometers. Now when I say average width of 70 kilometers, let me show you, I have brought something for you. Just give me a second. See here, this is the map of Kerala. So if you look at the place where the width would be maximum also, that is from the coast, from the coast to the further, for example, let's say this is the maximum, or maybe this is the maximum, whatever is the maximum, this width is only 70 kilometer. So according to this editorial, let me go back to that particular page again. You can see they are highlighting that it has got an average width of around or just 70 kilometer. So what I said, I should slightly change that average width. So average would be, you add all these and whatever is the average, you get that. But then if you look at the map also, the farthest also is not that very much. So Kerala does not have a great width in that sense. But if you look at their population, it's big. There are 3.46 crore population as far as Kerala is concerned. That's why it becomes very, very densely populated. And many of these densely populated regions, they are very close to forests. So you can understand these are the reasons. That's why there are so many man as well as animal conflicts that are continuously happening. Because you can understand, let's say this is a forest area. So 30%, let's say this is a forest area. Now invariably human settlements would be here only. And near these forest areas, let's say this area is your agricultural plantations, for example. Specifically in the hilly areas, which are the heavily forested areas on the eastern side of Kerala, many times what happens is your agricultural plantations, they are very, very close to these forested areas. So you can easily understand that man-animal conflict happens. Now you all think about this. When the animal and the man conflict would happen, of course people, many times they lose their life. The precious lives of the people are lost. Plus crores of rupees worth damage is done to the livelihood, specifically by the elephants, because they frequently raid them. Wild boars, they frequently raid them. And according to the data of Kerala government, more than 600 people have died in almost last decade as far as Kerala is concerned. So people are very angry. They are very angry against the forest department. They are like, forest department is not able to protect us. Now in this editorial, they have given a lot of numbers. See, trust me, I don't think any one of you can remember all these numbers. For example, if you see here, it's written 600 people have died. In the second one, they have given the scale. If you look at the second paragraph, they have given the scale. And in the scale, they have said almost this many conflicts, this many incidents of major crops being damaged. And they are saying that Wayanad specifically gets impacted a lot here. Now, again, just give me a second. If I have brought that, I should use it. I have brought the map for you. All of you, you can see Wayanad is here. So it is in the northeastern side of Kerala. So this district gets impacted a lot. Now, who all are impacting them? Now, I have brought that also for you. See this. If you look here, I'll change this. You all can see, this is your bonnet macaw. Similarly, elephants, wild boars, all these, they keep on disturbing this area. They impact the crops. Apart from that, you can see here, gaur, sambar and wild spotted deer. They also impact these crops. Apart from this, you can see even tigers. They eat many times the livestock animals of the region. So all these animals, they have been impacting and they have created a lot of man-animal conflicts in this area. Of course, I told you the scale is this. And I don't think you should remember the scale. Just remember that more than 600 people have died. And that clearly shows that this is a big, big problem. Now, why is, suddenly a reason why it is increasing this. So you can see I said the increase in the conflict cases is mainly because the increased area under cultivation. Now land is limited. If more and more area is being brought under cultivation, definitely humans are entering into the areas that once upon a time would have been the forest area. That is clear. Number two, they are saying that there are changing cropping patterns also. Third, they are saying significant increase in the population of animals due to conservation efforts. Now, I would say it's a very good news. If the numbers of the animals are increasing, it's great. Of course, we have to mitigate this human-wildlife conflict also, no doubt. And the fourth, they are saying movement of livestock and humans in wildlife during the odd hours, that is in the wildlife habitat, people go in the wrong times. So because of all this, what has happened is that the number of these conflicts are continuously increasing. Now, one of the major reasons for these conflicts in most of the times is elephants. And the incidents involving elephants have been continuously increasing. People are saying because we have depleted their habitat. Their habitats have been fragmented. Why? Because of the human activities. And in this they are saying that, these practices like cropping patterns. Now monoculture is happening. For example, crops like eucalyptus, acacia, they have also been grown. So these crops which are being grown, they also impact the plant biodiversity. Along with that, alien species which might not be of this area, they have been introduced in this, and what they do is they reduce the availability of food and water. For example, many times we have studied about eucalyptus also, that they also do the same thing. So all these are the reasons that these conflicts are only going up. So now, what is the solution? Are there any solution? Now this article talks about many solutions, and I have written two of those for you. One is, I said, elephants are creating the most problem. So elephant-proof trenches should be made, and they are being widely used in Kerala. They are thought to be largely effective if they are maintained properly. Along with that, there is another thing, solar power fences. So now if you will say that if these solutions are effective, then why the conflicts are increasing? Again, these are increasing because many places these mechanisms have not been installed. First of all, it's not been done everywhere. Other places where these mechanisms have been installed, they are a lot of time broken. Who breaks them? Again, human. We only break them so that our cattle can travel or go for grazing in the forest areas. Of course, don't think the elements are very, Sida Sada people. They also do a lot of these notorious activities. They are also guilty here. So what they do is, a lot of times the elephants, they also destroy the fences using their legs and tusks. So the Kerala government, their state department is having some 620 crore master plan so that they have these power fences, solar power fences, and they want to construct in such a manner that they are out of the reach of elephant. Apart from this, state government is also aiming to grow indigenous plants. Which are those indigenous plants? Like, let's say, wild mango, similarly wild gooseberry, similarly wild jackfruit. Now, if you grow these things and they are grown in the forests only, the animals would not have to come out of the forest searching for food. If you get them or they get these in the forest only, they will not be coming out, and thus they will not move towards the agricultural lands. Apart from this, the state government is also tracking the movement of elephants or any other dangerous animals using drones, and even watchers have been installed or have been asked to look into this, so that we keep on seeing if the elephants or any dangerous animals, how is their movement happening. So with regards to this was the discussion related to your first topic, and here only you can see I have brought another topic. Elephant tracking in Idukki forest gets easier as new AI camera beams live images on social media. So just now I showed you the previous topic where the menace of animal and conflict were rising. Now in this article I am showing you the use of camera, the drones, the artificial intelligence being used to track these animals. So you can see here the elephants, they are coming to Anakulam near Mankulam in Idukki. Now first of all, again let us look at where is Idukki. This is here. So you can see Wayanad is in northeast, and this is basically in southeastern area of Kerala. Now let me tell you one thing. This article is not regarding the animal and human conflict. Last time what we saw, humans are worried because there are conflicts happening. In this article, but the news is different. People want to see whom? Elephants coming to this place to drink water. So basically, if I tell you, this article is that the forest department has got AI enabled cameras, as I said, at Anakulam, which comes under Mankulam forest divisions as far as Idukki is concerned. So from these camera, live images will be supplied to the tourists. Now when the herds of these wild elephants, they come near here, you can see here in the image, when they come here to drink water, the live images would be provided to the tourists, and these herd of animals, they usually stay here for 5 hours. So tourists can come and they can see these animals drinking the water. Now you might be thinking why I have taken this particular topic here. The reason for this is that Mankulam Forest Division is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Western Ghats, which comes under the Kerala. And Anakulam has emerged as a very, very popular tourist destination as far as the district is concerned. So please keep an eye on UNESCO World Heritage Sites, under which Western Ghats, which are there, if I draw it like this, starting from your Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, almost for 1600 kilometers, also known as Sahyadri mountain range. Some amount of this Sahyadri range also goes and touches your Gujarat. So do remember, you can easily add Gujarat also to this. So almost 1600 kilometer chain, and this is of UNESCO World Heritage Site. So keep an eye on this. And if anyone wants to know why the elephants come here only, because it is written in this that the water here has a particular salty flavor which is loved by the wild elephants, and that's why they come here to drink water. With that, we are done with the second topic of the day, where you have to keep in mind certain points. You can see here, very important tourist destination and a World Heritage Site. Moving ahead to the third topic. Okay, now before I move to the third topic, you all can see I had covered this topic on 15th February also. I had covered this article on 15th February. You can see Kerala House requests central government to amend Wildlife Act to tackle human-animal conflict. So on 15th February, I had already touched this article. Please go through that. See, I'll tell you very frankly. Those who read the newspaper, listen to the newspaper analysis every day, with every passing day, your job will become easier. So you will see that every day, the news that comes, we might have covered it in the earlier days. And I'm only talking about myself. If you see, different faculties keep on coming. Rashesh sir comes, Hashmeet sir comes. You have Soumya ma'am who is coming to cover your newspaper analysis. So every day when different teachers come, they might have covered the other topics also. So keep in mind this particular thing. Now, moving ahead. Third topic, again on paper or page 1, environment, use dictionary meaning of forest. Supreme Court tells the center. This is a very, very significant order that is coming from the Supreme Court, where the central government has been directed that the word forest, this will have a broad and all-encompassing meaning for the time being and will include 1.97 lakh square kilometer of the undeclared forest lands. Now, what is in the background here? Let me tell you. A 3-judge bench, which was led by our Honorable Chief Justice of India, Mr. D.Y. Chandrachud, they gave this order yesterday that for the time being, use the definition of the forests. And this order came because some petitions had challenged the amendments brought last year in the Forest Conservation Act of 1980. So that law was brought to check deforestation, and there were some amendments that were brought last year. And under this, the petition says that the section 1A that has been introduced in the Amendment Act, what they had done is they had circumscribed or substantially diluted. That means they had reduced the amount of forest land, and they had diluted the definition of forest, bringing it under 2 categories. Their point is, one is declared forest and the another is any land recorded as forest in government records after 1980. So their petitions were challenging this second side of classification should not be happening. So yesterday, as I told you, and I'll come to this case, give me a second. As I told you that petitions filed in Supreme Court against the amendment. Remember, central government clearly said that we are denying this accusation. We are not bringing down the forest coverage. We are not trimming it. And there they also pointed out that look at section 1A. In that section 1A, we are clearly saying we have expanded the terms government records. So we have rather expanded it only. Now here in this article, they have talked about a landmark judgment, that is T.N. Godavarman Thirumulpad case. My pronunciation might be slightly wrong. T.N. Godavarman Thirumulpad case, and this was a landmark case whose decision had come in 1996. And yesterday also the Supreme Court has said that please go back to this decision. We had already upheld our decision and look into this one. So what is this? This gentleman, he had filed a writ in Supreme Court of India in those days, requesting that protect the Nilgiris forest land because a lot of illegal timber operations are going on. Sandalwood and all, they were being cut. So he had gone to the Supreme Court, and listening to this matter, Supreme Court in 1996 had given this landmark judgment. So yesterday also the Supreme Court clearly said that please go through the principles of this, and whatever the principles of this particular case were there, whatever we have said, you must uphold that. So one of the basic principle of this is what? They said whatever was the definition that we gave then, the broad meaning that we had given it, or the court had given it then, in order to preserve, irrespective of the nature, classification, or the ownership of the forest, that should be continued to be followed. So this they have said very clearly, and they have said that this judgment or this would go on till the time states plus UTs, they do not prepare a consolidated report, or I would say record. So they have directed yesterday that states and the union territories should prepare a consolidated record of all the forest-like areas, whether they are classified community forest lands, all these should be done, and they have given the time till 31st March 2024 that the states and UTs must give or forward these records. Environment Ministry within 15 days, that is 15th April 2024, should publish this. And then they have mentioned that July 2024, we are again going to listen to this matter. So we are in February. You can see almost 40 days time period has been given to the states and UT, bring all the records. Within 15 days, Environment Ministry has to post it, and by July, the government and whatever the data would be there, Supreme Court would be listening to this matter again. Moving to the fourth topic of the day, let's come to IR, page 15 today. Israel says, we are going to fight during Ramzan unless you free all our hostages. And Palestinians are accusing Israel of apartheid at the ICJ. So, fourth and the fifth topic, they both are Israel-Palestine issue. Now, everyone, before I begin this topic, please let me show you. On 2nd February, I had done a big discussion on the context of ICJ ruling. This was, so South Africa had brought a case against Israel in ICJ. I had talked about ICJ. I had told you everything about this ruling. Similarly, on 19th February, that is yesterday, we saw in Gaza peace prospects remain distant. Why they were distant? Similarly, yesterday we also saw US to veto another ceasefire resolution aimed for Gaza, and Brazil's Lula accuses Israel of genocide. So if you would have read, clearly 4 articles have been covered on this in the earlier last 3 weeks. So if I come back to this, please understand. One of the things that is happening is that in ICJ, another case is going on. See, remember, that one case is by South Africa. This is another case where yesterday Palestinian side said that basically we are under colonialism, of course, by Israel, and they are also practicing apartheid. Now, those who have studied world history, they would know apartheid was the practice done in South Africa against which your great Nelson Mandela had been fighting, where the black people were all the time acted badly by the whites. They were segregated, and same thing of that sort is happening by the Israel. According to the Palestinians, this is happening. Now, please understand, I have said very clearly, this is a separate case in ICJ. The previous case on 2nd February when I was teaching you, I had taught you regarding South Africa, what case they have brought. This present case, throughout the week, they are listening. So I was going through, when I was studying this article in the morning, I was seeing Al Jazeera was reporting about this, and they have been telling everything that in the court, the lawyers are saying from both the sides. So for the whole week, this will go on. And almost 52 countries, they will give evidence on this. Now, what is this case? This case is about legal implications of Israel's occupation of Palestine since 1967, the areas that they had further occupied in 67. With regards to this matter is going on. Now, remember one thing very, very clearly. One important fact, Israel said they will not participate in this hearing. They are not going to participate here. So now the question comes, as you can see, I said the other judgment or other case was brought by South Africa. So Israel is not participating. Did Palestine bring this case? No. Palestine also has not brought this case in ICJ. Rather, it is the UN General Assembly which had asked the ICJ in December 2022, please give your non-binding advisory opinion. So you can see the opinion of the ICJ would be non-binding, it would be advisory, that what are the legal consequences that arise from the policies and practices of Israel occupying the Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem. Now, this is the case. Now, as you all can understand, this case or this will be non-binding, but you can clearly understand that this judgment might put pressure on Israel, because already the case brought in ICJ by South Africa, now this being brought against Israel. There are tough times for Israel also. Already what happened on October 7th was totally wrong, totally bad, and after that, these cases, because even, equally what is happening to the innocent Palestinian citizens and the people is not correct. So a lot of countries, they are making noise about this and they have brought these matter here. But if you all see what Israel is saying, so we just now covered this one, the left hand side article. Israel is saying, see, we are going to keep on fighting with you. We are not going to even stop for Ramzan. Why we are not going to stop for that also? That till the time you have kept even one refugee of ours, one hostage of ours, we are not going to give up. And why Israel is so, going ahead with this tactic? Because even the last week they got two people released from Hamas. So deadly fight keeps on going on. And now this might reach the Rafah area, which is in the southern part of Palestine. Already around 29,000 people have been killed, according to the health ministry of Hamas. And the Israeli cabinet, their foreign minister, Mr. Israel Katz, is declaring Brazilian president as persona non grata in the state of Israel unless he apologizes. You all can see why this is happening, because yesterday we saw Brazil's Lula accuses Israel of genocide in Gaza Strip. So yesterday Netanyahu had called that these comments are shameful, these are grave, and now you can see the foreign minister of Israel has said that Mr. Lula is a persona non grata until and unless he is going to resign here. He is going to apologize. We will not allow him to come in our country. So this is being said here. Let us move to the sixth topic of the day now. As you can see, the sixth topic is, yesterday also we covered it, Supreme Court flags horse trading after Chandigarh mayoral polls. Now everyone, please see. This topic we covered on 6th February, when the first time we covered it, Chandigarh poll incident, mockery of democracy, Supreme Court. Yesterday we covered 19th February, Chandigarh Mayor Manoj Sonkar resigns ahead of SC hearing. Now what is happening here? Basically what has happened is that there was a election. What was this election? This election was to elect the mayor of Chandigarh. Now when this elections happened, there was a person named Mr. Masih. He was the returning officer and he blatantly, I would say, did wrong actions against which Supreme Court on 6th February had clearly said that, see, you have made a mockery of democracy. And yesterday, they had said that this returning officer, Mr. Anil Masih, has to be prosecuted because he has done the actions were totally wrong. So yesterday, Supreme Court, while asking him the questions, had clearly said that, see, you are in the court of law and you would be liable for everything that you say. And in that court, Mr. Masih said that he had definitely tampered here. So the Supreme Court has ordered that this man should be prosecuted for all the actions that he did on January 30 during the elections of mayor which were happening for Chandigarh. So that was one part. Now the problem is that yesterday only there were news that day before yesterday, after the mayor of Chandigarh, Mr. Sonkar, had resigned, 3 of the Aam Aadmi Party councillors, they resigned and they joined BJP. So yesterday Supreme Court is saying we are looking at this and we are very clear that there are horse trading that is taking place. Supreme Court on its own, they took the cognizance of this, they took the note of these media reports that 3 Aam Aadmi Party councillors, they have joined BJP. So please understand, the first problem in this was that the elections, by the actions of Mr. Anil, the elections became tainted. Second thing was, whoever got elected from this elections, that mayor resigned. Now yesterday, the fact that 3 Aam Aadmi Party councillors jumped to BJP, Supreme Court is saying this is a very bad thing. We are clearly of the view that horse trading is happening here. So yesterday what happened is, they took the note of this media reports on their own. Now, yesterday in the Supreme Court, the lawyer for the government and the lawyer for your Aam Aadmi Party. So the lawyer for the government, they said that, see, let us conduct the elections again. Fresh mayoral elections should be happening, because their point was that even Aam Aadmi Party initially, when they had come to the court, they had asked for this only. Whereas the lawyer who was representing the Aam Aadmi Party's mayoral candidate, he said, don't do the fresh elections, recount ballots. Because on January 30, when the elections happened, clearly everybody had cast their votes. Nobody had any problem with the voting. Their point is, we do not have any problem with the voting. What we have the problem? We have the problem with the tainting of these elections, which was done by Mr. Anil. The returning officer had defaced the 8 ballot papers. So they are saying that this misdemeanor has been done by this RO. So remove that part, and before that, whatever was done, get all the ballot papers, do the counting again. No need for a fresh elections. You can do this and it is done. That's why yesterday in the Supreme Court has summoned the entire records and the video of the poll that happened on January 30. Supreme Court is saying we shall look into all these ballot papers, we'll look on all this, and most probably today only at 2 p.m. Supreme Court should listen to this matter. Because Supreme Court is saying that, see, now the situation has turned. Yesterday with 3 people crossing over to that side, clearly this is the business of horse trading which is concerning us. And we are unhappy with this particular actions. So that's your another news and another article. Again, today it will come in news, or if this matter is heard, and tomorrow again we'll be discussing something more over here. But then you all can see, I personally again and again will say, the great stabilizing force in the country is the purity of the election process. That should not be in any way disturbed. That should not happen. Now, moving ahead to the next topic. Centre has agreed to discuss statehood, say Ladakh leaders. Now, Ladakh society, civil society groups, they were going for an indefinite hunger strike. Now, presently, they have put off that. So, what is the problem here? See, please understand. Their demands are that there should be a statehood for Ladakh. There should be, granting of the tribal status according to the 6th schedule of the constitution and all. So before that, let me tell you that here they are going to talk with Ministry of Home Affairs. Prominent people of Ladakh civil society, including former BJP MP, similarly education reformer Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, you all must be knowing him as Rancho, in 3 Idiots, the person Rancho, his role was motivated by his character. So they all had announced that we are going to do a hunger strike. But before that only, MHA is saying that we are ready to talk to you. We have already formed a committee, and this committee has got members from Leh Apex Body, similarly Kargil Democratic Alliance, and this committee is being headed by Minister of State for Home, Mr. Nityanand Rai. Now, overall, presently what seems to be the case that the union government may not be so much inclined to give the statehood for Ladakh. But if you look at the demands, the thing is, the primary demands are that Ladakh, which was part of, you all know, the state of Jammu and Kashmir. But then after Article 370 was abrogated, Ladakh became a UT. We all know J&K was bifurcated into two union territories almost 4.5 years ago, August 2019. And now the Ladakh, from then, in last 4.5 years, the people have been continuously demanding that we should be given a full statehood. They are advocating for greater autonomy, protection of their cultural and demographic identity and all that. So first point is, give us complete statehood. Now remember, today we have 28 states, 8 union territories, and apart from those also, there are many parts of our country which keep on demanding separate statehood. You all must be studying this in polity or in modern history or post-independence rather, where the demands have come from Mithilanchal in Bihar, Bodoland, Gorkha land. Similarly, there are demands for, let's say, states like Saurashtra or Vidarbha. So many states of India, across the states, there have been many demands. Now, out of all these demands, 3, one being Delhi, another being your Ladakh, and third, of course, being J&K, those which are UTs, which keep on demanding that please make us a full-fledged state. Second thing that they are demanding is that please include us under the 6th schedule of the Constitution. Now, this is a very primary demand because, remember, if they are under the 6th schedule, their cultural, linguistic, the land rights of the indigenous population, that would get the constitutional validity. Third point they are saying is, please reserve jobs for us. Specifically, reserve the jobs for the locals. In employment opportunities, give preference to the local youth. Another thing that they are demanding is that presently this area has got only 1 parliamentary seat. Please divide it into 2. Presently you have only 1 parliamentary seat, that is Ladakh. They are saying give 2 different, Leh and Kargil. Why? Because you all know Leh is a Buddhist dominated area, whereas Kargil is a Muslim dominated area. So demographically, as well as if you look at in this way, that geographically these two are totally different areas. They have different characteristics. So they are saying that please give us 2 different MPs. Remember, presently or formally, the J&K state had 6 constituencies. One of them was Ladakh. They are demanding, please give us 2 constituencies. Finally, do remember, they are demanding that there should be a public service commission for Ladakh. This should also be formed. So this all is being demanded by them at this point of time. Sorry. Now remember, I'm not going to cover Article 35A. You all must have studied in a big manner. You should remember this particular thing. Apart from that, the major areas we have already done, one being Muslim, another being Buddhist, and all that. Apart from this, do remember Ladakh being a very sensitive area, there are security considerations. So that also should be kept in mind. And definitely all the grievances of the people should be heard. Last thing, this is a homework for you people. Do remember, in polity or in history, wherever you would have studied, what all are the provisions of Article 3 of our Constitution, which gives the power to the Parliament with regards to the formation, dissolution, or alteration of the boundaries of any state. So please study this on your own, and because we don't have that much time, but do know about the 6th schedule also. If there would have been time, I would have done this here also here, but do look into this. Under 6th schedule, for example, the 4th northeastern states, which are those states? Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, as well as Mizoram, under the Article 244 subclause 2 of the Indian Constitution, they all come over here. So please study that on your own. Finally, the next topic, Centre Kerala talks fail, SC to hear suit. What is this matter? If you all see, I brought few articles today. You will see on 7th February, Centre had said that Kerala is one of the most financially unhealthy states in our country. We discussed that. And on 10th February, in response, Kerala had told that I'm really sorry. On 10th February, in response to that, the Kerala had said, who is Centre to say us how we are? Look at them. They are having almost 60% of the debt which is on our country. So we have already covered this, and apart from this also in 2-3 times on federalism we have discussed this. So what has happened yesterday is that Supreme Court had asked these two, Kerala and Centre, go on and have talks. Problem is these talks between them have failed. Centre asked Kerala, withdraw the suit. That is, take back this suit that you have filed. In return, we are ready to give you 11,000 crore. What Kerala is saying, that see, this 11,000 crore is ours only. Who are you to say that you are giving it to us? This belongs to us. Centre is saying, no, this does not belong to you. We are helping you going beyond our powers, and under the cooperative federalism, we are helping you. The Centre is saying, we have already helped you by almost 48,000 crores. We are ready to give you 11,000 crore more help. But then you cannot be fighting case and expecting help from us. In return, Kerala is saying that, see, whatever money, yesterday Mr. Kapil Sibal appearing for the Kerala government, they were saying that, look, our state is best when it comes to HDI. Most of the expenditure that we do in the health as well as the education sector. And they are accusing that the central government is trying to create a sort of financial emergency. They are adopting such policies which are pushing the states to the level of penury. And central government, on the other hand, they are saying, see, their record is very poor. There are a lot of cracks when it comes to their financial management, or rather, if I say it like this, there are mismanagement when it comes to Kerala's finances. So these were all the topics which are important from mains perspective. Let us come to the topics which can come for pre. Now in page 15, International Relations, GS paper 2, EU launches Red Sea mission as US ship is attacked twice. Now you all know, Houthis, they are the rebels who have taken more or less the entire Yemen. Houthis are backed by Iran. Now for the last few months, they have been continuously attacking the ships that pass through this lane. So these attacks began from November. They are saying this is in solidarity with Iran, with Hamas, against whom Israel is fighting. So they are saying we are doing this in solidarity with Hamas, with the Palestinian people. Now continuously many ships have been attacked in this side, and US is already leading a naval coalition this side. That is, they are thwarting these attacks of the Houthis. Now in that, one more addition has happened. Please remember for prelims that European Union, they are saying we will launch our own mission to protect this Red Sea, to protect the ships that pass through this, and they have named their mission as aspirants, Please remember, this is a Greek word which means shield. So clearly they are saying a new plan or new mission, in simple words, shield in the Greek meaning aspirants, will be launched by us to protect our ships. So in a few weeks, most probably with 4 vessels, we are going to launch this in this area to protect our ships which are being attacked by Houthi rebels. So please remember, if tomorrow they ask you what do you mean by aspirants, what it is exactly in prelims, do remember that this is a mission that is being carried out by EU. Now, let us look at another topic of prelims. On page 9, 100 years ago, on February 20, 1924, there was an article which has been published today. The first thing is, in this article they have mentioned a place named Uttamund. Now, what is Uttamund? Please remember, Ooty, you all know the very famous hill destination. Its original name or old name was Uttamund, and officially it is named now as Udagamandalam. So prelims, first thing is remember about what are the names. Second, in this article they are saying, I'm not worried about article, they have mentioned certain tribes. You can see here. They are saying hill tribes comprising of Badagas, Todas, Kotas, Kurumbas, Irulas are prohibited from having any liquor unless by medical certificates. Now you all know, under population geography in prelims, we have to remember the names of the tribes and which area do they inhabit. So you can see this is an image of Badagas. Of course, this is an image of Todas, Credit Times of India. This is Kurumbas, this is Kotas, this is Irulas. These are all the tribes which are found in these Nilgiris hills. So in Tamil Nadu, you have a district also called Nilgiri, and you all know Nilgiri hills. So in these areas, these different tribes are the ethno-linguistic communities. So something like that had come 100 years ago. What was the problem then? That's not of much concern for us. But we should know about these hill tribes. If tomorrow there is a question that these tribes, which area of the country do they belong to, do remember Tamil Nadu, Kerala and all those areas. Moving to the next topic. Page 22, science related. 100 years ago, Satyendra Nath Bose changed physics forever. Now, if you all see, big topic, big article. If you all see Satyendra Nath Bose, many of you who are having a lot of interest in science would know this name is always used with Bose-Einstein for many topics like statistics, correlations, distribution. Similarly, Bose is also known for Bose gas, boson, photon gas, for all this, and bosonic string theory. Now, when I was going through this article, I thought, let's not restrict ourselves only to science with this. Think about something else. Now, for example, in this it was written that he belongs to, or in those days, he was working in Dhaka University. Now, let me, just give me a second. All of you. Now, those who would have read Dhaka University, do you think, if you have studied history, you all would remember 1905, Bengal was divided. And you all must also be knowing 1911, this Bengal division was cancelled. Before this, in India, in 1857, you already had Calcutta, Madras, Bombay, later Allahabad, and later Punjab universities. So 1882 Allahabad, 1888 I think Punjab, around this period 1880s these two were created. 1905 Bengal has been divided. 1911, this division has been cancelled again. Bengal is one. Now here, you all know Dhaka had a Nawab. His name was Salimullah. In history you study, this man was a big supporter of Bengal's division. So in 1912, he along with A.K. Fazlul Haq, they went to then Governor General, whose name is Harding, that please, Calcutta has one university, please give us another university in Dhaka also. And later, in education chapter, you all study different commissions like Wood's Dispatch, Hunter Commission, Raleigh Commission, Sadler, Hartog, Sargent. Under that, later you all know, there was a Sadler Commission appointed around 1917 to look into the working of Calcutta University. Had two Indian members, Ashutosh Mukherjee and Dr. Ziauddin Ahmed. And this commission, Sadler, named after Dr. M.E. Sadler, he was the Vice Chancellor of University of Leeds. He had advocated that please, form a university called Dhaka. So can you see, this article is of science. I took it to history. Similarly, in this article, there is talk about Presidency College. Now, Presidency College, now I think Presidency University, but then again has a great history associated with Calcutta. And my question to you people will be, let's not discuss this stress. Tell me in the comment box, in any way was Raja Ram Mohan Roy associated with this college? In its formation or in any sense, was associated or not associated? Think about this. In the education chapter we study Raja Ram Mohan Roy started Hindu College, Vedanta College. Was he concerned with this college in any way? Very important college. Some of you might be a product of this place. Now, when I was going through this, I thought, let's discover more about S.N. Bose. Now, you all, few days ago, we were studying Bharat Ratna. You all studied Bharat Ratna was constituted in 1954. Now, do you all know the same year Padam Vibhushan, Padam Bhushan and your, Padam Shri also was constituted. And S.N. Bose was the first recipient of Padma Vibhushan. Think about this. First recipient of Padma Vibhushan. There were others also like Nandlal Bose and Mr. Menon and all. But then, very great fact about him. Another great fact that I got to know about him, that Rabindranath Tagore had written his only one book on science and dedicated that book to Mr. S.N. Bose. The book's name was, Vishwa Parichay. So what is written in the article is one thing. Another thing we have to remember is that what all we should know about this great man. So if you all see, this is extra knowledge that I have given, which is not mentioned here. It's all around 1924 and the talks were going on about a new theory called quantum theory. A lot of physicists were trying to research on this, and at that moment, Mr. S.N. Bose, who was coming from Dhaka University, coming from a poor country like India, which was under the British, and from here, out of nowhere, he rose. In this article, it is mentioned that Bose was like a comet. He appeared on the scene of physics like a comet. Out of nowhere he came and he started writing on this quantum theory. He gave the correct set of equations to work out behavior of collection of photons. Later there is a physicist, his name is Ibrahim Pais. He lists that one of the 6 fundamental papers on quantum theory was written by none other than S.N. Bose. But you all can think, A man from India writing a letter on such a complex theory. People ignored it. So what did SN Bose do? True to his nature, he wrote, once his paper was rejected by journals of those days, he mailed this paper to his favorite physicist Albert Einstein. Einstein had loved this paper and had translated it to German, sent it to the German himself, and this is the 100-year mark of this great discovery. Personally, I don't know. And I understand the government of India has given him a great honor by bestowing him the Padma Vibhushan. But I personally think, and I have talked about this earlier also, don't you all feel that people like him, the great people like him, should also be given the Bharat Ratnas? Think about this. Totally at a time when we had no money, we had no backing, we had nothing. At that point of time, this man comes out of nowhere and writes about this all. Approved by none other than the greatest scientist of that era, Albert Einstein. Along with this, in this article, there is talk about another person named Meghnad Saha, another great scientist, astrophysicist of that era. They both had joined Presidency College to study physics, where he had met, Mr. S.N. Bose had met Meghnad Saha. They both remained lifelong friends. They worked for physics. And I was amazed to know that these people, you all think how much hindrances they were facing in those days. Most of the articles that were printed in those days, they were printed in German. But then they took up the challenge. They learnt a new language. They learnt the novelty of a new science. Quantum was just developing at that point of time. Both of them published the first English translation of Einstein's paper on general relativity. Saha was one of the first person to find the applications of quantum theory for the molecular physics. Bose would have written less, but then he had also done a lot of research in this. And in this article, there is a talk about one more law named as Planck's law, which is related to radiation. I'm leaving that. It would be too much. We should concentrate only on S.N. Bose. So, let us come to the second last topic of the day for prelims. The other topic is Saturn's moon, Mimas, may have ocean under its crust. First of all, remember, Mimas is the smallest of the major moons of Saturn, and the astronauts, they believe that it may be having a liquid ocean which is of 20 to 30 kilometers under its heavily cratered ice shell. Now, this Mimas is also known as Death Star because it had resemblance to the star or to space station in the Star Wars franchise. Now, do you remember about Mimas? Apart from this, one point you have to remember, NASA's Cassini spacecraft had provided a lot of data, and all this was published in the Nature journal in the month of February, which has come up with this particular viewpoint. So just remember Mimas, just remember other name being Death Star. Do you remember NASA's Cassini? These all are certain facts that you should remember. Last topic for the day on the prelims. On page 12 under science, there is another topic, Breakthrough Prize Laureate calls for collecting precious protein structures. Now, please remember, the name of this man is John Jumper. He is, you can see his picture over here. He is the winner of this Breakthrough Prize. Now, he says that they are learning a lot about protein sequences much at a greater speed than the protein structure. Now, who is he? Please remember, he is leading a program called, and do remember this program's name, AlphaFold 2 project. This is being carried out by Google DeepMind. And they are making structure predictions. Think about this, structure predictions of almost 200 million proteins. So AlphaFold is basically a AI system developed by DeepMind that predicts proteins 3D structure from its amino acid sequence. So please remember 2-3 things. One, what exactly is AlphaFold? So remember, it is an AI system. Who has developed it? This is a project by DeepMind, and this is going under the Google DeepMind thing. And under this, what they do is they predict proteins 3D structure from its amino acid sequences. So with that, we are done with 13 topics that we had to do today. I have covered them, I think, in a record span of time, picking up the most important points of all those articles and adding wherever it was very, very necessary. See, my only point is, when you read Hindu, think about this, that we do not have to take the data only from what is written over there, but we also have to think about any additional thing that can come from those topics. So always while reading the Hindu, keep this thing in mind. Now, apart from that, if you see 2 mains questions, why are the man-animal conflicts on the rise and what can be done to reduce this? In 150 words, you can write about this. The demand for the creation of new states is justified or not? Comment 250 words. Think about this, write whatever you know about this. With that, we are done with this session. I hope you love this, you like this. Do comment, do subscribe, do like the video, the lecture. And tomorrow again, same time, same place, we shall come with more number of topics. Till then, keep studying. Any doubts, please post in the comments. We'll be there to help you fill the form, and we are always there to help you. That's all. Goodbye. Thank you.